What is up, everybody? Welcome to The Feast, episode 84, the show where you submit replays and we cast them. I am Delthius. How's it going, guys? I am doing well. Good to see y'all. I just want to drop in and say hi, man. It's been a little while since I've streamed. You know what? I noticed I'm missing my last episode. I didn't highlight it in time before Twitch took it off, so got a little bit of work to do to the Twitch channel and the YouTube channel over the weekend, but I actually have a weekend where I'm not super busy, so that's good. So yeah, hopefully I can get all that squared away. I think I'm still missing the tournament Jed Erickson and I did as well on the channel, so I'll get that stuff up here shortly. But I'm super hyped for the tournament Premium Bow and I are organizing for next Saturday, the 2v2 tournament, man. It's going to be good. It's looking pretty good. I think we're going to have some custom maps available for the tournament. We're still looking for more custom map makers if anybody wants to throw their hat into the ring, man. Definitely talk to either me or Premium Bow about it, man, and it should be good. So good to see everybody. What's up, P-Boop, Emistria, Iris in the chat, Love Friendly, how's it going, everybody? Premium Bow ready to wield that band hammer as usual. But yeah, man, 2v2 tournament next Saturday, I think 1 o'clock EST, I'm pretty sure. It's going to be a lot of fun. First place, I'm giving out a $20 Steam gift card to both members of the winning team, so that's going to be pretty hype. It's going to be good, man. I think we've got a decent amount of teams signed up already, but get in there, man. Join up. And I think that's about it. Without any further ado, we got some good replays on the docket for everybody here tonight. We'll go through... Try and make it through 12 as usual, so let's get it started off. Match number 1. Alright, in the bottom, we've got the Child, and his opponent in the upper right, Emistria. Okay, so we got Owls. We got Artie Cannon here from the Child. Love to see that. Emistria rocking the barbed wire as usual. Owls for both player. Owl Badger. Like, the Child's a madman. I love this deck. You know, Squirrel Ferret, so that's pretty risky in my opinion. Like, getting the ferrets in there, you know, with this kind of composition. Maybe Skunk might be a little safer, but I like it. I mean, ferrets have been doing really well lately, so it's kind of hard to say, but I'm just thinking, like, you know, if you're gonna run one tier 1 and one tier 2, you probably need like a real powerhouse tier 2 that'll be really good in a direct fight, but ferrets can definitely get the job done in the right situation. Meanwhile, Emistria with a pretty standard deck composition, to be honest. Like, Squirrel, Skunk, Falcon, Pigeon is pretty tried and true, pretty powerful composition. You know, you kind of cover your bases a lot of different ways. You got some decent AoE, you got some nice single target damage, and Falcons, once they stack up, you get like 4 to 6 of them, can burst things down very, very quickly, even stuff like Badgers. So pretty passive opening so far. 8 farm openings for both players. Emistria being a little greedy, though, going for that natural expansion very, very quickly, even before the first warren. And actually, I think it makes a lot of sense on this map, to be honest, because look at this. This is the type of thing I love, man, when you can find uses of barbed wire where just like 1 or 2 pieces really seals the deal. You know, you don't want to get crazy with barbed wire most of the time and try to like barbed wire off a whole area like that, you know. But this doesn't lock the Child out completely. He can still kind of migrate up this way. He's got to deal with some cabins on his way over there. But this cabin is pretty nice for the Child. He should be able to take that out here shortly. But instead of going that route, he's actually just deciding to go ahead and invest in an entire expansion. Is he aware of Emistria's expansion is the question. He's not, so he's just kind of playing a little bit blind at the moment, man. Just macroing up. He's got enough units together to go ahead and take out this cabin. And things are looking good so far. This is kind of interesting because Emistria is getting the economic lead, which most of the time is the more important thing, but she's still only on tier 1 while the Child's getting that tier 2 unit up. And that extra technology in the army, the flexibility, especially a unit like the Ferret, who can come up here and maybe harass, you know, onto those warrens with the commander spotting onto the high ground. That can be very powerful and start to put on some kind of pressure. But Emistria doesn't wait too long, gets the Falcons out. The Falcons will be great at preventing the Ferrets from coming up here and just kind of dealing free siege damage from the distance. The Falcons can kind of, you know, secure this no man's land in between the target of the ferret and where the ferret is, and try to poke him back a bit. But let's see it. The harassment's gonna begin from the child. And little things like this really add up, man. Losing a Warren, you know, losing a couple squirrels can really make a big difference over the long run. So Mishra is not going to sit around and just take that kind of punishment, which I believe is the correct way to go about it 9 times out of 10. Like, most of the time you kind of just need to engage into the ferrets if you have no way to really effectively keep them back. Because otherwise they're just going to compound damage over time. Eventually you're going to have to take that engagement, and you took damage that you didn't need to, essentially, if that makes sense. But nice attack here from the child, busting forward, taking down a lot of Warrens. That Falcon died as well in the beginning of this melee. Neither ferrets have died just yet from the child, so this strategy of just like pure squirrel ferret is working very, very nicely thus far. Mishra needs to be careful with this ferret, kind of needs to keep it alive. It's so squishy though without having a strong support line of tier 1. Like, Falcon Skunk is very, very powerful, but you just need those raw numbers. You need those grunts on the ground, the buffer, you know, and I think that's the main reason the child's doing so well in these engagements, is just the pure squirrel count at this point. But Mishra, with the defender's advantage, with some decent micro there, able to push the child back. I like a lot of this emergency barbed wire actually comes into play and does a decent amount of damage. The child doesn't really have anything to deal with this barbed wire until he gets up to Owl Tech, if that even happens. I mean, keep in mind the barbed wire does take damage when it deals damage, so you can kind of zap Brannigan, brute force it, but most of the time that's not it's not a good thing to do. Okay. So what's the next step? We've had a couple skirmishes here. Mishra had that economic advantage in the early game, but I feel like the child kind of took good enough engagements to even that out a little bit here. And I feel like it's kind of even. Like, Mishra's got more tier 2. The child's trying to go up on more ferrets. I don't know about that. Maybe I would have liked to see him try to get to tier 3, but it's a really difficult decision. When you throw down that tier 3 Warren, you know, like, any time between when you throw that down and the units finish building, you're very, very vulnerable compared to if you just threw down more tier 1 or tier 2. And it looks like Amicia is gonna saturate her third base just slightly faster than the child, but overall I think they're kind of getting more economy at similar rates. But Amicia is ready to bust in here. She's got the power of the Skunk and Falcon behind her, and with enough squirrels this time on the ground to kind of buffer, you know, she's rampaging through, and I think this might be too much damage to the child, man. Like, these ferrets were doing very, very nicely when they were kind of the aggressor, but on defense, not so much. Mishra very smartly just kind of comes back for a moment, you know, regroup, heal up for a second. I think that's something that a lot of players will underutilize. They'll try to go for the throat, you know, lose your army. I mean, Mishra probably could have done it there, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Like, you've dealt crippling damage to your opponent, you know, you might as well take a 20-second intermission and then go back in, but nicely done. Okay. What's up, chat? I'm trying to monitor the chat and make sure I don't miss anything important, like everybody yelling at me. But so far, it looks like everyone's just yelling at Premium Bow, which is good. Okay, match number 2. Let's get into it. I got me some coffee. I haven't been drinking much caffeine lately, and my hope is, like, when I do have a cup of coffee, it's, like, crazy effective. Okay, anyways, guys, in the left, we've got Big Pimpatosh rocking the triple tier 3 here. The triple triad, and over to the right we've got Kalaru with the artillery cannon Fox build. And I think this is something that Kalaru's been practicing a lot with lately. I'm kind of interested to see how this plays out, and I just absolutely love the deck composition, really, from both players here. Like, really flavorful decks, trying out interesting strategies. You know, Kalaru's kind of scratching his head, like, how can I make artillery cannon barbed wire work? And Fox as a way to kind of get there makes sense, I think, because in the early game, if you get that quick Fox out, you start applying some pressure. you kind of put your opponent on the defensive and maybe buy yourself enough room to place a really well-positioned artillery cannon. You got the barbed wire there to help protect it. Squirrel Lizard is very nice in the early game. I mean, lizards don't do so hot against toads or moles, but even if they have toads or moles, you can still utilize lizards to do flank attacks, to do counterattacks, to all in, you know, tech switch into nothing but lizards later on and cross your fingers. But overall, like, Squirrel Lizard, I feel like is still a really strong tier 1 combo in the early game. I feel like lizards do really well against most of the tier 2 units also, so that kind of helps if your opponent goes for like a tier 2 rush. You know, you got some lizards that can really make the difference. And Skunk, of course, makes some sense. I think Skunk is a nice backbone unit to kind of include when you're trying to do something silly like this, you know? Like, okay, I'm running Fox barbed wire artillery cannon, but let me get the Skunk in there just to round things out. And you know, because really Kalaru could use this as a Squirrel Lizard Skunk deck completely, you know what I mean? And that's not even really silly. Like, that's a fine composition. Throw a Fox in the late game and then kind of put down the artillery when you can. But of course, Kalaru is probably looking for more fun than that. I think his game plan is to win with that artillery cannon. He's already taken a proxy gristmill outside of Pimpatosh's base. This is going to allow him to maybe throw down some barbed wire, start building some room now. He's going to save right for the artillery cannon. No, okay, yeah, thought this would make sense. Like, try to claim this territory. Building nothing but squirrels is a nice way to do this. A little bit of a build order advantage here for Kalaru, in my opinion, because Big Pimpatosh did decide to throw down this Wolf Warren, I believe before he saw that gristmill. If Tosh threw that down after he saw what Kalaru was doing, then I would say shame on you, Tosh, but I don't think that's the case. So Kalaru got a bit lucky here that Tosh is going for like a one base tier 3 style and wasn't doing something, you know, more standard or mid-range, like just building up to some tier 2, because at the moment, Kalaru's kind of got a little bit of an army advantage, right? Until that Wolf hits the board, which is going to be fairly soon, about 50 seconds off. Yo, Delth, your map rules are too restrictive. They're more like guidelines. Alright. So Kalaru in here with the big engagement. Yeah, Premium Bo and I were just kind of like brainstorming what would be good and bad qualities of a map. So in the spirit of like trying to generate maps that are competitive and not like janky or cheesy, we tried to throw down some guidelines, but I don't feel like those guidelines are a hard, you know, rule, right? Like if you break one of the guidelines, but you know, the map is good map, you know, I'd consider it. But anyways, this artillery cannon is in range, and Kalaru is starting to reap the fruits of his labor here. This barbed wire artillery strategy actually working very, very nicely. It seems a little bit dependent on getting a gristmill that's kind of abusive like this on the spawn, but that happens pretty often. Like, most of the time there are pretty offensive gristmills you can take, in my opinion. Sometimes you can't, but you can always change up your strat. You know, maybe in games like that, Kalaru goes for a fast fox or something instead. Alright, yeah, this is beautiful, man. I like the woof usage, very smart here, trying to buff those pigs for as long as possible. Get as much resources out of those farms as he can. But the main gristmill goes down. Now, in the meantime, Big Pimpatosh has managed to get an expansion up. He's trying to get a boar to deal with this massive tier 1 army from Kalaru, but Kalaru's in a great position to just kind of continue leapfrogging in. Like, he can even take the old main of Big Pimpatosh if he wanted. You know, continue to expand that territory and push even further. But I don't know if he even really needs that, to be honest. He's doing a really good job so far, keeping pressure at the front. I'd almost love to see him like sell off that back artillery cannon and some of the barbed wire to gain, you know, and just build like a lot of lizard warrens, for example, right on the front line to really try to seal the deal on this game. Artillery cannons have ridiculous range. Like, I bet that Warren's got to be in range. Maybe even the pig. 100% that Warren's in range. Maybe the pig. Maybe. Let's see. Is it? We're not gonna know because Kalaru's moving in. No, yeah, it looked like it was shooting there. But Kalaru's moving in with the squirrels, getting some damage done. He's got the artillery cannon to back him up now. And this just kind of looks dunzo to me, man. Like, I think Kalaru's almost got Big Pimpatosh in the checkbait here. Now, keep in mind that the boar is coming out. I guess they are on similar economies. Kalaru's economy is a little bit better, but he's going to keep that momentum going by taking an expansion. The fox is also on the way. But now Tosh has got the wolf boar, man. Maybe he's going to go for a base race scenario. I guess that makes sense to try to avoid, you know, you certainly can't attack into all that barbed wire and artillery cannon. Oh my god, Tosh. Is Tosh gonna do it? Okay, he's been spotted. And Kalaru's gonna come home to defend. Boars are a pretty big deal, but the wolf is almost gonna go down. It manages to heal, however, on the retreat with all the pigeons there. And this boar is just freezing everybody, I suppose, with the winter patch, with his ice ray. Ooh, he might get an artillery cannon here. He's got a better economy. Is the fox? Oh, the fox is almost here though. The wolf goes down. Oh my god, can he get the fox warrant? I don't think. No way. Oh my god, I think he could have. I totally think he could have if he targeted it very, very quickly, but he really didn't have a lot of squirrels there to begin with. And now with the fox here, I think the fox should probably eventually be able to pick off the boar. But still, this boar getting in here and doing some surprising work, man. I wonder if Tosh would have opened with the boar instead of the wolf, like if he would have been able to break through earlier on. You know, because that boar, man, like he got a lot farther with that thing than I thought he would. Okay. Kalaru moving in for the kill at this point. I think this game is very GG now, but really, really cool, man. Tosh almost came back with that boar. He did a lot more damage than I thought he would. That was insane. Really cool game. All right. What's up, everybody in the chat? Good to see y'all, man. Let's keep it going. Match number 3. On the left, we've got Kerpa. And his opponent to the right, Mishi. Yeah, I need to update my Twitch. My last episode of the Feast, I did like a month ago, is not on there. Because I didn't highlight it in time. I still don't have the Jed Erickson tournament I did with him on there, so... I've been so slammed on the weekend lately. I finally have one of those weekends where I only have plans like Saturday night and that's it. So I'm like, yes! So I gotta get my YouTube updated, get the Twitch channel all situated as well. Yeah, and then we'll be in pretty good shape. Keep sending me replays, guys. I've actually still been getting pretty significant submissions, so I appreciate it. From those of you who are continuing to submit, y'all are awesome. And how else can I buy time in this early game? Well, I guess I don't have to buy time anymore because Mishi kind of did not go for the 8 farm here. He went for a 6 farm warren instead, but it was just for some mind games to make Kerpa basically respond with the 7 farm warren, which is the correct response. But Mishi flips that into the 8 farm, which beats the 7 farm warren. Like, I love seeing little things like that in the early game. I wouldn't be surprised if Kerpa even sells this warren. Oh no, that's not a queued farm. Okay, yeah, like if the farm is queued and I saw my opponent try to do something like that on me, I would just like sell my warren and let the queued farm start building. So yeah, nothing super nuts in the early game. Mishi eking out just a very, very slight little economic lead. I don't even know if he really does, to be honest. It's pretty damn even. But Mishi is already saying, I want to take this to a macro game. Oh, and I love it. The mind games again from Mr. Mishi here. And he's, oh, actually, interesting. So he's taking the more proxied gristmill. He took this gristmill, and then Kerpa's like, okay, great. It's a macro game. I can take gristmill on my own. So I was assuming that Mishi was just doing that to get the 120 food up right? And just have like a few more units and try to win in the early game. But Mishi was actually trying to fake it out and maybe hope Kerpa didn't see him building this closer gristmill. And now he wants to get turrets up here, like Kerpa just very quickly placed the turret before the territory changed. So now Mishi's got Kerpa in a very difficult position. He can start kind of doing a soft contain here. I guess you could argue he could even take this gristmill and make it a full contain. Which is going to be rough for Kerpa to deal with. Really conservative play here from Mishi to not commit to that turret. I think that's absolutely correct, but I feel like I would have totally committed to that turret, you know, but he doesn't need that turret right now. Instead, he gets his tier 2 Warren out a little bit faster. Definitely the correct move there, and I think it can be very tempting, especially when you're trying to go for a contain strategy like this, to like to really commit to those turrets, you know what I mean? Because it's like, all right, I got my gristmill down, I gotta make sure I get a couple turrets in range, but like it, I like that. Nice little thing there. So Kerpa's not happy about this situation. Again, he's not fully contained, but Mishi's following this up with the ferrets. And this is kind of the classic. I love this style as well. Mishi's been kind of championing it as well for a long time. The ferret fox turret kind of synergy. You know, you build the turrets to make it difficult for your opponent to attack into you, and then you use the ferrets to deal siege damage from afar, eventually working into the fox, which is just kind of like a better version of a ferret almost. Alright, Kerpa comes in from a nice angle, gonna bop one of those turrets almost immediately. A lot of moles here on the front lines. A couple toads to try to deal with them, but Mishi still isn't taking the hard engage. Again, he invested in these ferrets, and can sometimes be a little bit of a rough in these early fights, but Mishi is going to barely hold off here. Nicely done. And he's trying to re-establish this turret line here. But Kerpa already has another big wave coming. This turret is going to get up in time, but the AoE and the moles from Kerpa are going to delete it immediately. Kerpa moving forward. The ferrets have gone down, and now Mishi is in real trouble. Kerpa's broken out of the contain on the back of just the strong squirrel toad mole composition, on the back of some good engagements. You know, you really got to hand it to the angle that he came in on the first skirmish, where he basically eliminated that turret immediately, and he also kind of barred against taking turret damage on his way up, and then also fighting under both turrets simultaneously. So I really do got to give Kerpa a tip of the hat for the engagements, but a little bit of an overextension here from Kerpa. He could have tried to just like take this gristmill and try to, you know, start fighting for this territory on the top end, but he's getting a little greedy. He wants to go for the killing blow. Yeah, now he's going to eliminate this gristmill. And keep in mind, Kerpa has had a little bit of a better economy thus far in the game. Like, if he pulls back, maybe builds a farm, you know, kind of keeps that momentum going. We've passed the 5-minute mark here. So the economies of both players are starting to get lower and lower. And Mishi is scrambling to get second base up and running, trying to hide behind this turret, but the moles are very good against turrets. Kerpa moves in again. And he's got to be careful. I don't want to see him overextend. But it looks like he might have the momentum here to end the game. Yeah, he's got plenty of squirrels left over. Definitely GG from here. Well played from both sides. Nicely done. I think Kerpa did a phenomenal job with his engagements that game, man. The farm that he had from the get-go. It's kind of funny because Mishi, his intent with taking that gristmill and then selling it was try to like trick Kerpa into thinking he wanted to go into the macro game, right? But Kerpa's response to that was to build a gristmill and a farm. And then when he kind of saw, oh, Mishi doesn't want a macro, he wants to contain with this more forward gristmill, you know, he kind of already made that investment in that farm at that point. So I think he was really smart where he didn't continue building farms from there. But, you know, once he had that additional income, that helped reinforce his engagements from there on out, essentially. And, you know, 8 farms to 9 farms is like a 12% increase in your economy or something like that. It's not negligible. So, yeah, nicely done. Hey, see you later, Ears. All right, guys. Match number 4. Let's hop into it. Spawning basically kind of in the middle of the map here, we've got Mr. Illuminatus. And his opponent to the right, we got Big Pimpatosh. Okay, some cool styles here. So far, we've seen a lot of different deck compositions tonight. It's really refreshing to see. Illuminatus, no tier 3, is pretty normal for him. Rocking that snake, so is Tosh though. Tosh going a little bit, okay. Going a little defense crazy, but Tosh is doing something that's even more crazy than that, and he's not running squirrels or lizards, relying purely on Toad Mole. Now, that's not as crazy in the current patch as it used to be, because moles are pretty damn good. And they're, I don't even think I should say basically, like they're a core tier 1 unit now, right? I think that's pretty established. So it's not like he doesn't have a core tier 1, but moles, you know, squirrels, in theory, can kind of kite them around a little bit. I think the toads are kind of a cool... It's kind of a cool addition to the moles. Like, maybe the moles are soaking up damage. The toads can get in there a little bit easier and get the connections on the squirrels. The toads are obviously good against lizards, but moles are kind of good against lizards regardless, and toads are good against your opponent's moles. Tosh, though, what is Tosh up to here? He's building a lot of defense off the get-go. I'd imagine that he's going to go straight for that fox. But if he was going to go straight for the fox, I think it's smarter to build the fox warren and then build the defense. You know what I mean? Going for the snakes, though, a little bit more of a moderate approach. But he's turtling really hard, and Tosh is a good player, so he knows that turtling on one base is not exactly the best strategy in Tooth and Tail because you run out of resources so quickly. You know, it's kind of a common mistake we see beginners make. But Tosh is a damn good player, so he knows what he's doing, and I'm curious to find out exactly what that is. For one thing, he's completely dissuaded Illuminatus from attacking, right? Like, Eel has no reason to want to even think about attacking Tosh. However, the reason that turtling is not the best is because now Eel is free to expand, and all of the money that you've spent on defense, he can just go right into farms, you know what I mean? So the Fox Warren is going down for Tosh. And another good thing about the defense is it's going to help prevent Illuminatus from ever scouting. So lots of defense with the snake and the fox coming up. And Eel's... Oh, we got the snake out. Trying to do a little bit of poking and prodding. Nice, a little bit of value for free, can never argue with that. Eel still doesn't know the tier 3's coming, but Eel should know the tier 3's coming without having to scout it. Like, if you see this much defense out of a player, it's kind of a big red flag. Like, hey, I'm doing something greedy, and what's a thing that you do that's greedy in Tooth and Tail? You build tier 3 warrants. But you gotta hand it to Tosh. Like, he made it all the way up to Fox without basically building any tier 1 units. Like, the tier 1 units he has now are just coming out. And I think Eel is playing this very smartly as well. He kind of skipped out on building a lot of tier 1 because he doesn't need it. Instead, excuse me, he built a little bit of tier 2 just to stay alive, just to have some substance to his army. But he went up on economy very, very quickly. He's got a balloon as well, which would be amazing against the fox, but again, he's still not 100% certain that a fox is coming. And Tosh is trying to pick off all of these juicy tier 2 units. He manages to trade out several tier 1 for 2. I think he got 2 kills, did he? I could have sworn I saw, ooh, nice snake pickup there on the end from Eel. I thought I saw 2 snakes die from Eel, but I guess that can't be right, seeing how he still has a snake there. Alright, the fox is here. The balloon's coming out, but it's a little bit too late. However, Tosh knows it's there. Tosh is going to want to prevent that balloon from going down if possible, but he needs to be careful. Snake stacks on a fox can get out of control very, very fast. You can see the amount of damage just 1 stack of poison did. 2 or 3 stacks of poison get on there and you're basically done. Ooh, the balloon did die to poison. Nice from Tosh. Okay. This is a pretty crazy game so far, I gotta be honest. Tosh is kind of expanding out, kind of getting rid of a little bit of that excessive defense, kind of repositioning it. It's starting to take some economy of his own here. I would love to see him just kind of rail up on that on that second base economy at this point, though, because he knows that Eel's economy is very, very far ahead of his. But he's being a little bit more moderate about it here. And maybe he's planning on a big attack coming up soon. Oh, does he get the second shot on the snake? He doesn't, but he gets a pig. That's always nice. Gets a second pig as well. Gets the fox out of there. Picking up more tier 1. And that snake should die, right? Oh, man, it lives, but Tosh is coming in for the big engagement here with what he's got. Oh, and this fox is definitely going to go down. Nice pickup here from Eel, and now Eel just has so much stuff. He's got skunks, he's got squirrels, he's kind of got these basic units that are very powerful to just kind of bust through here. Ooh, nice toad engagement, though. Selling off that fox warren, very, very smart. And when you're in, like, code red situations like this, you know, sell off to tier 3. Hell, even sell off tier 2 if you absolutely have to. Trying to just muster up as much tier 1 as possible. I mean, you got to keep in mind, there's a big asterisk on this game. Like, Tosh is not running squirrels or lizards. Like, that's pretty impressive. Even with the modern moles, I don't think... I could be wrong. You know, don't quote me on it. But I still don't think, like, not running squirrels or lizards is a, you know, high-level competitive concept with the new moles. This is more Big Pimpatosh, like, I'm going to make this deck work without squirrels or lizards, you know what I mean? But Eel's economy is doing nice. He's building up that third base over about the 1 o'clock position. He's keeping the pressure on. He knows even trades are fine for him at this point because he's got the better economy. He's got the momentum here. Really, if I was Eel, man, I would just be building like more and more squirrels and just trying to seal this game out. It was pretty cool, but when the fox died, it was kind of the turning point. I also think Tosh could have gotten there a little bit more smoothly. Maybe got his economy up a bit faster. But it's easy to say that when you're watching the game. When you're in the game, you have to make decisions. And I think Eel just kind of takes it from here, right? Not to be the anti-hype guy, but pretty sure this is over. Tosh hanging out for as long as he can. Yeah, he's only got 1 farm left. 1 farm, 1 snake warren, and a dream, man. Dream to take Eel's points. Tosh taps out. Nice victory there from Eel Luminatus. Cool strategy coming out from Tosh. Trying something different. Really cool to see. In all fairness, this is not a loadout I practice much, says Tasha's chat. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's exactly my point. Like, you're not running squirrels or lizards, man. If you won that game, that would have been incredible. Alright, guys, let's hop into a 2v2 match. In the bottom, we've got Kerpa and Spirit Bear. Their opponents to the top, Premium Bow and Premium James. Premium Bow, my main mod in TnTTV. He's the one who's on my back about getting things done for the channel, which I definitely need. But he's my tournament organizer, man. You guys are going to be coordinating with Mr. P-Boop next Saturday in the 2v2 tournament, man. It's going to be a lot of hype, a lot of fun. Definitely sign up for that if you haven't already. So, Premium Bow with the 4 farm Mole Rush right in front of the Warren from Kerpa, too. Like, he just doesn't care. He's like, yeah, if I build my Mole Warrens here, then there's less of a rush distance to my opponent's Warrens, right? Makes sense to me. And Kerpa even realizes with those critical attacks, the Moles would take out those structures very, very soon. Moles are coming in, definitely going to get this pig. Let's see if he's able to get any more damage done. 4 moles is quite a few. And Premium Bow going right for the gristmill. Oh my god. Meanwhile, Premium James went up to 8 farms. It looks like Spirit Bear got there as well. And James is already clearing out this campfire. Since he had the high ground there, he's able to do that with 1 squirrel, so that's always nice. Claro looking for a partner for the 2v2 tournament in the chat, man. Claro's pretty good. I'd team up with him. Alright, Premium Bow with the snap defense, saying, I don't think so, buddy. Building a bunch of turrets. But he's leaving his partner vulnerable to attack. Krupa moving in with a lot of lizards, already forcing a cancel on, or sell on the Warren. Pigs going down. Some nice revenge here from Krupa. Unfortunately for him, though, doesn't quite get that last pig. That would have actually made a pretty big difference. Premium Bow taking a sneaky base off to the side. Let's see, he does have artillery cannon and turrets. Like, I wonder if he's thinking he could just sneak an artillery cannon up, like, right there or something. Premium Bow also with no squirrel lizard. Playing some crazy nonsense here. Alright, Krupa moving in again with some lizards. Gonna try to get to those turrets before they finish building, but doesn't quite get there in time. Premium Bow with 3 gristmills on the map. He's definitely taking an economic lead here. James is following suits. And just now the gristmills are going down for the blue and green team. Spirit Bird definitely still needs to get his own gristmill up and running. And Premium Bow's just kind of spreading the wealth, man. He's got a little bit here, he's got a little bit there. Blue and green are doing a good job trying to keep their eye on the scouting. They definitely don't know about that expansion over to the 3 o'clock, yeah. But they probably will eventually see it. And a balloon coming up from Krupa. Because why not? James, getting that wolf out, man. He knows what's up. Gonna come down here. Try to maybe grab this campfire. Be a nice little forward position for his team to start building up some defenses, perhaps. And Premium Bow. Being a little sneaky sneak over here in the corner. Trying to cause some salt. Dude, Premium Bow. Hey, you guys want to play 2v2 with me? And then he does this kind of thing. Isn't that so rude? It's very rude. Alright, I'm hyped. Let's see it. Oh man, they have no idea. They're not near. Premium Bow's being patient. Gonna wait for 4. Do you wait for 6? Oh yeah, I don't think you wait for 6. 4 is more than enough. And the command. Oh, but blue just came home in time, and Premium Bow does not quite get to tier 3 war, and the wolf pops out just in time before the attack began for Premium Bow. So nice try, but doesn't quite get away with it this time. Damn, that was like half a second, man. And those moles would have killed that tier 3 war, and that would have been insane. Dude, it was so close. It makes me sad too. Alright. Premium Bow. Gonna follow it up with a whole bunch of farms and some falcons here. But Krupa's not messing around anymore. He's gonna try to break through. He gets a little bit too overzealous though on those turrets. Does manage to take them out, but loses a snake in the process. Both teams have a wolf. But the economy, well, the economies are starting to be even. I was getting a little bit worried for blue and green, but they're starting to catch up. Balloon going down. Krupa trying to make it out, but the speed boosted squirrels there able to hunt down that snake and knock it out in time. Spear Bear trying to take a 3rd base. This is where this game is going to get dicey because there's only a few gristmills left. And Premium Bow sneaking this gristmill out. He didn't invest in it super hard, but even still, like, draining out those farms could really matter if we get to, like, a super late game situation. Premium Bow has just got the flock of flying here. He's going for that ultimate air force of falcons and owls. So I think Krupa just saw it. Yeah, Krupa sees the gristmill now. Oh, but I don't think he noticed. Okay, yeah, he notices. So he's gonna take that out. Meanwhile, oh my gosh, he sees it on the mini-map. But maybe he's not aware. He's just trying to do a sneak attack over to the side. While blue positions himself out to the front to try to prevent a counterattack. He's just gonna all in on the gristmills here, but with all these falcons coming in and he's retreating, he's definitely gonna lose all these snakes. He just needs to turn and fight and try to tag stacks on as many of those falcons as he can. He kind of realizes that those falcons do a ton of damage, but Premium Bow losing that expansion is a huge deal. I mean, we're 6 minutes in, the main base farms are about to dry up. Krupa's going to go ahead and take out that other base that Premium Bow had hidden in the side, and a big engagement coming down here in the center of the map. But this is a nice defensive position here for blue. Like, he's got some barbed wire, he's got some balloons, he's got the wolf there to help out. Dude, I love these lizards. What's your guys' favorite winter skin in this winter pack, man? I think it's got to be the lizards. Like skiing lizards are pretty good. Premium bow moving in. Looking for some blood. Oh, this owl is getting caught out though. Well, trying to rally, but not enough stacks of poison. Owls have a lot of HP, or am I wrong? Is it gonna die? It dies. Nice catch there from Kerpa. And Red trying to engage over to the side with Blue, but Blue pushes him back. And Premium Bow's on the retreat. All these snakes from Kerpa. Going to do a lot of work to this owl if they can catch up. They've got the speed boost from the wolf. They get a couple stacks of poison, but not quite enough. So what's the economic situation here? Blue and red have the best economies. Green and yellow are hurting. And yellow especially. Premium Bow's in a rough spot. His only two farming pigs right now are on the main base, and they're about to be all mined out there. Yeah, now he's starving. Kerpa's gonna deny this expansion attempt from P-Boop as well. Premium's just gotta try to take this Gristmill, I guess. Kerpa's starving as well, however, and Kerpa doesn't really have a lot of assets at the moment to sell off. Like, he can sell off a Lizard Warren, but that drops his force down to being very, very small. Really, red and blue have the bulk of the armies here. However, Premium Bow has a small army as well, but it's a lot more technologically advanced. Yellow and red trying to push through. Premium Bow took the campfire, so he's not starving anymore. Kerpa is still starving, however, he sold off his Lizard Warrens. I guess he wants to try to get this campfire. Yeah, but that's not gonna work, Kerpa. It reset the starvation timer, at least. Oh, the wolf buffing balloon. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, that is pretty sick. Alright, we're kind of the desperation phase of this game. Kerpa's starving out. Premium Bow, no economy either, but a very strong army on the ground. Red moving over, gonna try to deny the expansion attempts from blue and green over on the right side of the map. Premium Bow pulls back, just does some damage with his mice, and doesn't lose anything. Nicely done there. Expansion goes down. Nice denial there from James. Dude, all three of these balloons getting wolf buffed. They're floating in an angry breeze, man. They're floating with a vengeance right now. They're floating with determination. Blech. Just a bunch of throwing up and yelling. Alright. Alright, red and yellow. They look like they want it. Do they want it? Are they going in? Double wolf! Double wolf, double owl. What more do you need? Big engagement moving forward. Does the premium team have enough to just win the game right here? It's starting to look like it. There's really nothing left for blue or green. Just a couple snakes on the board. Kerpa trying to backdoor and win the game in a base race. Nice effort, but it's not going to happen. Kerpa's sent to the kitchens. And Spirit Bear is not very far behind him. But he's going to get a kill from the grave on that Gristmill, which is pretty cool. GG. All right. Match number 6. Let's do it. Spawning to the right, we've got Amistria. And her opponent's the Child. Okay. Both players with Squirrel, Pigeon, Falcon. Amistria with that barbed wire, of course. This time, going for the Owl. Pretty cool to see. Kind of similar decks here, you know. I think the Child's is a bit more tried and true. That Squirrel, Toad, Pigeon, Mole tier 1 combo is very, very strong, to be honest. It's not, like, it depends on your playstyle, but for me, it's like, 4 deck slots, you know, to do that. But, I mean, It's a very, very strong early to mid game composition. Like if your opponent's messing around at all and you just one base, push out around 3:30, 4 minutes in with just a ton of those tier 1 units, then you're gonna have very, very strong push. And the Falcon Wolf actually is pretty cool because they synergize a little bit together. The Falcons are gonna benefit a lot from that Wolf buff, and they're both units that just scale very nicely in the late game. Meanwhile, Amisria has more of a tier 2 centric mid game here with the Squirrel, Pigeon, Skunk, which is going to fare pretty nicely against the tier 1 heavy comp from the Child. And if she can get to the late game, the Owls are going to be amazing there, especially without Skunks from the Child to help buffer against those. Once the Owls are out, he's going to have to kind of tech switch out of the Toads, or else they're going to be detonating on Mice, and that's no good. But the Child has Falcons, which are great against Owls. If you have 4 Falcons together, they'll take down an Owl very, very fast. Ooh, I thought Amisria was being sneaky in the back of her base for a minute there, but she's being sneaky in the bottom, taking that Gristmill. A little bit of a sneaky base, I would say, because the Child is probably expecting her to take this Gristmill. So he may or may not really scout that moving forward. Child takes out that cabin without losing a Squirrel. Very nicely done. And is he going to take his own base? It looks like it. Going to go up to a 2-base play as well. Okay, tier 2 coming down for Amisria. So we'll have to see if the Child decides to kind of commit to that second base, or if he really wants to turn on the pressure here with a lot of tier 1. Because I think he's kind of got either option available. Nice scout there from the Child. Manages to see exactly what's going on from Amisria. But he's still not aware of this bottom base. I would love to see Amisria sell this Gristmill too. Like, just kind of make him think you're taking it, because she's already got the one to the bottom. But she's going to keep it. And has she seen his second base yet? She hasn't. So, nice scout here for Amisria. Going to see the second base going down. Doesn't see the heavy investment into double Falcon, however. That can be pretty important. But one thing that's nice for Amisria here is that the Child doesn't really have an accurate grip on Amisria's economy, and it kind of makes sense that she didn't sell this base, because when the Child comes over here and scouts, he's going to see a second base with like 1 or 2 farms. Okay, that's pretty standard. And he's not going to suspect anything like a hidden base. If he didn't see this base, then the Child would be preparing for a 1 base all in. Which is also incorrect information that Amisria could be feeding him. But I think this is actually really cool. Like, she sacrificed 60 food, but she's kind of convinced the Child that her economy is a little bit behind what it actually is. And in very close engagements, a couple of farms can really make the difference. That's the difference between you having a few more units than you would have had previously. And, oh man, is he going to see it? Okay, he gets the scout off. He sees the Gristmill down here. Is that going to trigger him to move out with anything to try to take it? I would absolutely love to see the Child, like, build a mole warren or something right here. Don't commit his entire army to moving down here to take this out. But just throwing down a couple more mole warrens could very easily take that base out without moving his army out of position. Tier 3 also on the way for the Child here. Amisria should be a bit ahead. And neither player has seen the tier 3 from their opponents. The Child's moving in for a scout now. Let's see if he gets it. He does not. He's going to check the real second base. He's going to check the hidden second base, or third base, I guess I should say. Kind of sees where his opponent's at on economy and follows suit. But still, neither player has seen the tier 3 from their opponent, and they're both doing a really good job trying to scout in. Oh my god! He was 1 pixel away from getting the scout that time. And another tier 3 going down for Amisria. Amisria also still hasn't seen the tier 3 of her opponent. This has been kind of a passive game, but I think both players are handling this like very properly. They're keeping constant eyes on the farm count on their opponent's second base. They're trying to get a good feel for the overall composition of their opponents at the same time. Now the Owl's moving in, The child is not going to be prepared for this. Only 8 mice. It's going to get some damage done. Not game-breaking damage. But the idea is that this kind of compounds over time. You know, like child loss, 3 or 4 toads there, and 2 squirrels. And he almost lost that Warren as well. And the child is just immediately gonna all in here, man. He's building a ton of moles. He's saying, okay, now is the time to go. And his army is looking pretty deadly. I'm getting worried for Amistria here. The owl also goes down right at the beginning. The falcons for Amistria going down as well. So far, the falcons for the child are holding strong. Now they're starting to die off, but a lot of damage has already been done. I think the child did very well there, but he probably could have done a little bit better if he waited on a few of those moles that he just invested in. But I could be wrong. Like, you don't want to sit around and wait either. Amistria does have a better economy, but I think he's just dealt too much damage here. Yeah, that main engagement with the wolf buff, with all those tier 1, just kind of rolled over Amistria as she was on 1 owl trying to get up to a 2nd owl. And owls are this big late game investment unit that get better and better the more you get. So this was a very smart time to attack by the child when he kind of identified, okay, my opponent's trying to get a whole bunch of owls. Let me move in before that happens. Royal Squirrel's White custom skin. Yeah, there's a website called ToothAndTailMods.com. You can get free custom skins. It's not like an in-game unlock or anything. It's just community-driven. The way this game was coded, like all the art files and stuff like that, are very easy to modify. So the scene has developed a lot of stuff. I've actually got the winter skin pack installed on from ToothAndTailMods.com. So all kinds of really cool custom skins on there, man. I'm typically skinned up, especially near the beginning. Like when a content creator would make a new skin, I would like show it off on the show, you know, so people could see it. And that was before we really even had the Tooth and Tail mods thing. When that came out and kind of consolidated it. Beforehand, it was just like, you know, exchanging files on Discord was really the way to get skins. Alright guys, match number 7. Let's do it. Yeah, that was really good timing from the child. I think he did a really good job identifying you were trying to go owls there and attacked in before you could increase that count. So over to the left, we've got Skiing with a Million. Fantastic username there. And to the right, we've got this guy. This guy with this Fox artillery cannon, man. Dude, Claro and this guy are up to something in the Tooth and Tail meta. And apparently that's Fox artillery. Alright, let's see how this game plays out. Pretty small map overall, I feel like. Pretty reasonable rush distances. If you wanted to try to go for something like a 4 or 5 farm double here, it could work out. Especially if you're skiing, attacking into this guy. Like, it's a little bit rough for this guy because skiing got the double high ground, which is kind of hard to attack into. Especially with, like, the water around and, like, kind of awkward, you know, ramps trying to get up there around all those rocks and stuff. And yeah, this guy is going to place a pretty aggressive forward Warren, but only a 7 farm Warren, nothing too crazy. Looks like he might be trying to get like a lizard or 2 out, maybe try to find a good angle to come in. You know, it'd be really, really cool if this guy came in like this, with like 2 or 3 lizards and tried to gank that pig on the side, you know what I'm saying? Well, it looks like, right as I'm saying that, Skiing with a Million's kind of thought about it, kind of positioning his units up. Or actually, no, he's just trying to take out this cabin. Ooh, he's gonna lose the squirrel. That's actually pretty standard to lose a squirrel taking out a cabin. No big deal. Always nice when you can get it for free though. All right, so this guy grabbing that second base, moving on up. Looks like he wants to macro this game. He probably see the thing is when you have artillery cannon in your deck, I can't help but feel like your strategy's got to be. It's not like, well, maybe in some situations I could use it. In most games I don't know. It's if I've got Artie in my deck, my whole goal is to make the artillery cannon work. You know what I mean? Like, that's got to be your focus. This guy's got to be scratching his head, run around the map thinking, Where am I gonna put this cannon? Like, this would be such a good spot to put a cannon, if you could get there. So I'm not entirely convinced he took this second base to kind of macro up. You know, he might have taken the second base to just get more territory for cannons. Alright, big engagement coming up. And it looks like this guy is going to take the victory there. Lizards are pretty good against squirrels in big open engagements like that in similar numbers. But the snakes are here, so that's going to allow this guy to get in there and do some poking and prodding of his opponent. You know, one snake tag does kill a tier 1. I think with the water healing, maybe you can make a squirrel live if it's like in your territory with the water healing. Not 100%. So this guy, yeah, he wants to get aggressive, man. Maybe he's not thinking artillery at all. He's going full reptile here. Lizard snake. All right, another engagement. Skiing with a million moving forward, this time with quite a few squirrels. The lizards are going down. The snakes are starting to fall as well. Really got to try to tag as many different squirrels as possible with this kind of composition. There we go. This guy starts getting some better targeting going. Cleans it up. He only lost one snake, so that's not too bad. And moving forward here, wants to be careful. Really doesn't want to lose these snakes. And he does a very good job there of splitting the DPS onto as many different squirrels as possible. But his snakes are going down. He did a lot of damage with them, though, so it's probably worth. Oh, does the last snake die? It goes down, but it gets a shot of poison out before it goes. Really got to take out this cabin, man. That cabin's just been taking a couple free hits on reinforcing units. This guy gets the artillery cannon down, but in a very conservative spot. It's not in a spot that can directly threaten skiing. It's just going to be nice for defense. Meanwhile, skiing, getting his second base up and running. Still purely on the squirrel comp, but it seems to be working pretty well for him thus far. All right, the artillery cannon is almost done. There it is. So attacking is almost like out of the question here for skiing. Artillery is just going to make very short work of those squirrels with all the supporting units that this guy has. Oh, and he's going to start taking advantage of the mobility here of these lizards. 15 lizards will be able to take this down very, very quickly. But can he get it before the squirrels get here? He's targeting the pigs. I think he could have just targeted the gristmill. But he gets some nice damage done. 3 pigs. Loses a few lizards there, but that's typically a trade you're willing to make. A reptile-only tournament. Recommends Kalaru in the chat. That would be fun. What about toads? Can you use toads? There's no tier 3 reptile. What about birds? Birds are their own things. Birds and reptiles. Like, you got lizard. So you got what? Lizard, snake, chameleon. Is that it? There's only three lizards or 3 reptiles. You could put toads in there. I don't know if you'd want toads though, and lizard toad, you know. Dude, you can actually do custom deck sizes though. So you could totally have, I don't know if a tournament, like, it would be a cool show match though. You know what I mean? Lizard, snake, chameleon games. I never really thought about that. I guess there's no tier 3 reptile, huh? We need some kind of King Croc kind of tier 3. That'd be dope. Or we can make a, oh my god. We can make a boar skin. God, what was that guy? Is it Rocksteady? From Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Yeah, do like a Bebop and Rocksteady kind of thing. I mean, dinosaurs are reptiles. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bebop would be easy, because it's already pig, already boar. But, dude, a rocksteady boar skin. And then you could try to make the argument that you can use boars in the show match, because you have the reptile boar skin, so now he's a rhino. Well, I guess Rhino's not a dinosaur either. Jeez, what am I even talking about? I've lost it, you guys. Okay, Fox is here. What would be a cool tier 3 reptile skin? I don't know. There's gotta be a good one out there somewhere. Like, instead of a badger, like a Komodo dragon or something. Huge Komodo dragon with an artillery on his back. That'd be pretty good. Godzilla as a tier 3. Yeah, we could do that. I like it. Laser crocodiles. Dude, you gotta do T-Rex. Like, if you're gonna skin a tier 3 into a dinosaur, I'm thinking it'd have to be T-Rex. Oh my god, or a fox skin that's a velociraptor with like a laser beam. You know, because velociraptors are quick. So this guy's doing very, very well this game. The fox is gonna do great against the composition of skiing with the melon here. Like, just a squirrel, skunk, and pigeons are very, very easy pickings for the fox. Like, skiing with all the tier 3 that excuse me, skiing has is pretty good against the fox, but it's just kind of not here. And the fox has already been doing some pretty significant damage. It doesn't seem like this guy's in too much of a hurry to end this game, though, man. I think he might be toying with his food a little bit. Like, he could be down here poking and prodding with the fox. Like, I think he just really wants to get these artillery cannons up. I think he really just wants to kill this gristmill with cannon, with presence in this case. Alright. You know you want it. This is what you're here for. This is what you tolerate my terrible casting for moments like this. There it is. Is this what you want? Are you not entertained? Alright, big engagement coming through, and gotta say, this guy just is kind of rampaging over it at this point. You got to get that proxy already in range, so you gotta be... Jeez, look at the range on the artillery, dude. It never ceases to amaze me. Like, where the black ashes right there, like, it was just shooting there. Like, that's so bananas. Well played. Very nicely done from this guy. Always really cool seeing people making that artillery cannon work. Yeah, premium mode. Melon had a great deck to deal with the fox, just had to build him, yeah. Alright. So, match number 8. I'm pretty hyped for it. Haru and Kalaru are both newer names in the scene, and they're both really, really good players. So, let's take a look. In the bottom, we've got Kalaru. And his opponent up top, Haru. Both players with the fox and the mines and the falcons and the squirrels. So 4 units, and the decks are identical. Haru opting for the pigeon skunk, and Kalaru going for mole artillery cannon. And again, Kalaru's been one of these guys trying to make this artillery cannon build work. And let's see how they decide to go about it this game. Haru's got a decent position to try to, like, fox rush, but hold that thought. Kalaru's not messing around, man. He's starting a mole attack. So, Haru should sniff this out. When he scouts this, yeah, and he sees only 5 farms here, you gotta know something is up. So, but the moles are almost out already. Haru doesn't have turrets, but turrets aren't that good against moles anyways. He's gotta get some warrens up. Yeah, he sells a farm. He places the warrens over here, which I think is very smart, because he knows that the moles aren't here. So he knows that it's going to be difficult for the moles to take out these warrens, because a lot of times in this situation, the molar is going to go for those warrens before he starts hitting the farms. But he's got 4 moles, man. Like, this is going to do some real damage to these pigs. 1 pig falls. A second pig's going to fall. The first couple squirrels are getting here to defend. 3 pigs down. Lots of moles dying as well. But keep in mind, Kalaru's only on a 5-farm economy at the same time. And Haru should be netting some value. He goes back to sell that farm, which I think he, to queue the farm, which I think, as much as that is a priority, he should have kept that going because he could have prevented Kalaru from selling all the moles and warrens for as good of a refund. And this is the correct response to an aggressive opening, trying to get the counterattack damage in. Once these couple pigs start falling, like, this water can start to be utilized to heal up these attacking units a little bit. Ooh, Haru's commander goes down, though, which is going to be very nice for Kalaru's defense here. So already quite a bloodbath in this game. Both players taking some pretty significant damage. Haru managing to get out on top of this, though, in my opinion. And he's going to try to get back up to those 8 farms ASAP. Warrens have 50 HP, pigs have 20, so it's more efficient to kill pigs. That is true, but I feel like people sometimes, like, if there was a warren, placed, like, right here, for example, when the moles were coming in, I'm not a big mole rusher, so I could just totally be wrong, but from my experience, it seems like it's correct to, like, attack that building warren, because then you prevent any squirrels from coming out, Like, I've had guys mole rushing me that were just kind of like whack-a-moling me with my warrens. Like, I'd have to sell it and rebuild it somewhere else. But we've stabilized here. Haru with a little bit of a lead, but nothing game-breaking. I'm sorry, yeah, Haru with the lead. Kalaru is still in this, 100%. Like, Haru's probably like 50 to 60 food ahead, something like that. Maybe a little more, maybe 100, 120 food max. And did Kalaru just go ahead and expand? Okay, no, he scouted the expansion from Haru and responded. Man, Haru and Kalaru. These are easy names to get mixed up. So Haru initiated with the expansion. Kalaru scouted it, responded with his own expansion. Haru comes in here, verifies that Kalaru has taken an expo, sees some mines being built, sees enough squirrels to where he's not going to think there's like tier 2 or tier 3 also on the way. That's another important thing in this phase of the game. You can kind of think, okay, if I've spent all my money and I've got like a gristmill and a farm and 12 squirrels, and I scout him and he's got a gristmill and a farm and like 12 squirrels, then I know he can't have anything else, Squirrel counting is really important, to be honest. Like, when you're scouting in there, if you can see, okay, they have 9 squirrels or they have 15 squirrels, you can get an idea of what else they have. If you can't get that complete scout, you can kind of make some inferences. Okay. So again, this is a bit more of a technical part of the game than it can often look like. You've really got to keep an eye on your opponent's second base, see how many farms they're building, and decide, are you going to match those farms? You really don't even want to match. You want to try to stay like +1, +2 ahead, or are you going to all in? You especially, we'd see guys like the gentleman on like the earlier phase of the second base taking, where my opponent comes into scout and I build like 5 or 6 farms, so they come in and scout and say, oh, okay, he's just saturating his second base, and then right when they leave, you sell all the farms, you build 12 lizards, and you go win the game. Little things like that can be very important. But this is a pretty passive match so far. Like, Haru just trying to establish his third base, meanwhile Kalaru getting that fox down. And in the fox versus fox matchup, even though both players are not aware that that's what's going on, getting yours out first is pretty key. Both players have mines here too, though. So we might get a little bit of what everybody really wants to see, which is foxes dying to mines. Oh, and Haru does not get the scout off on the tier 3. And Claro hasn't seen the third base yet. And this is also a tier 3 timing that is really, really safe in my opinion. Like, when Kalaru took this fox, it's actually really hard to punish it, because it's not like a one base tier 3 rush where your opponent has a significant difference in army, because like off a one base army, you know, the 360 food that you've got floating in this building tier 3 rather than having something on the board is super relevant because your army sizes are very, very small. But when we get later on to this phase, when you have an army value, you know, like off one base, that could be basically like half your army value, you know. But as the game progresses, you know, it's less and less of a percentage of your army value to throw down that fox warrant. Like, Kalaru's been able to throw that down, and where's he really at? Like, he's a few falcons behind on Haru, right? A few tier 2 behind. And both players are really just skyrocketing it on economy here. You know, taking these tier 3s. Look at this minefield from Kalaru, very nice. And the fox is out. And this is what I expect is going to happen is Kalaru is going to start harassing, and it's going to trigger Haru to just kind of all in here. But Haru's going to try to get these mines down. Oh man, we could very well see a fox die to a mine. Really smart to try to path this fox onto that empty gristmill farming area, because you can't build mines there. And here comes that arty cannon, man. I forgot all about the arty cannon. Nice mine placement there. So Kalaru's going to need some minesweepers here, and that's where the moles come in. Like, I wouldn't even mind to see him go down to like 3 moles and just let those moles die all the time, like sweeping mines, you know. But 6 isn't too bad. So Kalaru's going to take a little bit of a gamble and cross his finger and hope there's no mines over here, and there aren't. So he's going to get some sweet, sweet bacon here. 3 pig kills, and he's going to get out. Not too greedy. Doesn't overstay his welcome. The fox from Haru is still over a minute away. Oh! Yeah, nicely done. Okay, so now we have these big mega armies off 3 base economies. We haven't really seen this yet tonight, so pretty cool to see this kind of standard macro game. And it wasn't just like a blind macro game either. Like, both players were really on top of each other with scouting and trying to determine what the other guy's army was. You gotta remember, this game started with that mole rush from Kalaru. I thought this was gonna be a very fast game. But we're getting to the 9 to 10 minute mark, which isn't super uncommon for Tooth and Tail, but Tooth and Tail is kind of interesting because, like, not every game really has like a late game. I know it's uncounter, and you know, as counterintuitive as that sounds, like most games we don't get these massive armies, right? Like these big, heavy tier 2, heavy tier 3 armies, because it's just so back and forth. Like, yeah, we'll be 9-10 minutes in, but players have like 3 or 4 farms and, you know, ragtag team of survivors at that point. Like, the only time we really get to these like quote unquote late game situations in Tooth and Tail is when both players when there hasn't really been a big significant engagement until this point in the game, because that's really what allows this army value to get so high. So the fox is here from Haru. So fox and mine off here. That arty cannon's in some good range. Oh man, and it's in range of the gristmill as long as Kalaru's up here scouting for it. That's one ballsy fox, man. Gets that bull kill, I suppose. Oh! One hit on this fox. The fox is going to go down, but it kills the fox of Haru. That was a gladly sacrificed situation from Kalaru there. He knew he'd lose that fox, but he's got a backup fox, and Haru doesn't. Still being very, very cautious. These are big armies that basically won't get replaced, you know. There's like not enough money on the map to really replace these armies. And Haru, very smartly, is going to try to sneak around the side, that is not fortified, but this might put Haru in an all-in situation where he doesn't really have retreat as an option. He's gonna push forward. The big engagement's coming through. A couple squirrels are funneling through the front. Does Haru have enough? All these skunks on the front line, these gas is doing a lot of work to the tier 1 of Kalaru. Haru looks like he wins this engagement, but Kalaru's still got the artillery cannon. He's still got the Fox. The Fox is gonna do great work against these Falcons. Another Fox is here as well. So Haru kind of won the fight, but it looks like Kalaru won the war. Maybe Haru should have disengaged after that first initial... Oh, man! I thought those mines might have got a double kill on Foxes. That would have been dope. But at the same time, you know, if Haru did disengage there, then Kalaru could have hunted him down with the Fox and done a lot of free damage on the way out. Yeah, I think Haru just got a little bit greedy, maybe a little bit impatient. And nice counterattack coming here from Kalaru. Does he have enough to end this game, though? Both players' economies are in the dumpster. The Fox stays alive from Kalaru. Nice control. And now we're starting to get to the late game that that looks more common in Tooth and Tail, where it's like, all right, we barely have anything. We're running out of money here. We've got to... Another thing that's really cool about this phase of the game is, like, you have to be really smart about how you're going to downsize, because you don't have the economy to rebuild that enormous army you've been building all game, right? So you've got to decide, all right, what Warrens am I going to sell? What units do I prioritize to kind of scramble together a follow-up army? And I think Haru played that a little bit better than Kalaru did here, you know? Like, Haru is not in the red at all. Kalaru's got a lot of Warrens, but he doesn't have any income to really build anything. However, Kalaru's got really good positioning here and really good power with this artillery cannon, with this Fox. And Kalaru's been doing a great job keeping this Fox alive in all these engagements. And nothing, like, everything in Haru's army is kind of bad against the Fox, besides the mines, which Kalaru did a great job playing around, and of course the Fox that Haru had. But Kalaru finally takes the match for a really cool, pretty late game, high army value match. Pretty awesome. Sublo in the chat, man. Good to see you, dude. You need to sign up for the 2v2 tournament next Saturday, man. This is the hype stream for it. Next Saturday, I'm hosting my first... I've been involved with quite a few tournaments in Tooth and Tail, mainly casting. But I've never done tournament organizing, so I decided to do it. Premium Bow is helping me out. It's going to be next Saturday, 1 p.m. EST. We're going to do a straight-up 2v2 single elimination tournament. We've got some guys working on some custom maps for it. We're hoping to get some nice competitive 2v2 custom maps in there. And $20 Steam gift card to both players of the winning team, courtesy of Tooth and Tail TV. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. I'm not used to talking this long anymore, man. I'm rusty. Okay, where are we at? We got 3 more. I can do 3 more. Let's do it, guys. Let's hop into a free-for-all. Spawning in the bottom, we've got Blue Coon and Swaggergato 6, and in the top... Oh, wait. This is a free-for-all, right? Yeah. My bad, guys. This just looked like they're on a team because they're so damn close together. We've got Blue Coon, we've got Swagger God, we've got Mazeroth, and we've got River Rain on this rainy river map. Pancakes asks, what's my favorite 2v2 Brood War map? I really liked Fighting Spirit for 2v2s. Me and my buddy Anthony were playing on that a lot. I mean, old school, I probably played most team games on things like the Hunters, BGH, Zero Clutter, Fastest Map Possible. When I was a kid, I played a lot of money maps and use map settings and stuff, so definitely did a lot of like Zero Clutter type things. But lately, my StarCraft has been more 1v1. I haven't really been playing much StarCraft these days, though. I haven't been playing much video games at all, man. But hold that thought, as we've had a Mole Rush coming in from Blue Coon. Like, this is pretty crazy. Like, green or yellow are not going to be long for this world. This is probably looking best for River Rain, to be honest. Like, I like this little castle over here for Mazaroth, you know, up on the high ground with that natural base. But River Rain has so many Gristmills right next to him. Like, this is a rough position for yellow and green. If either one of these players ends up winning this game, I'd be pretty surprised because both of them are just, you know, trading with each other so much while the other guys are just macroing up. Yeah, I haven't been gaming too much. I've been playing some co-op stuff with my wife. That's been a lot of fun. A little bit of Magic the Gathering when I get a chance. I've been working a lot. I've been keeping strong on the music thing, man. Practicing a lot of drums and piano lately. But a mole attack coming out from River Rain with some lizards to back it up. So, okay, so blue and red aren't going to sit around either. So maybe that gives green or yellow more of a chance. But Swagger is busting through on poor Blue Coon here. It's starting to get the damage done. Blue Coon down to 2 pigs, no units, desperately trying to get a skunk out. Like, Ghost FTW in the chat. What's up, man? It's good to see you, buddy. Alright, alright. Wow, I'm surprised the skunk actually got out. Is Swagger God gonna eliminate Blue Coon right here, right now? It looks like yellow is just barely gonna manage to stay alive. Now he's got the high ground. Now he can kind of start harassing and punching back a little bit with the skunk. It's only got 10 HP though. He needs to be careful to keep it alive. 2 HP! Alright, he gets it. The Swagger needs to be careful, man. Like, well, as I say that, I was about to say, I don't know if continuing to throw stuff at Blue Coon is going to work, but it looks like it is. He's trying to be very careful with his squirrels here. Oh, but River Rain sees what's going on, trying to save poor yellow. Maybe they're all in, like, Discord chat laughing about it. But Blue Coon goes down. Swagger God with a kill under his belt. Oh my god. And then River Rain, the 9 lizards gonna come in and try to sweep this up. These scumbag River Rain here. Dude, he was just like watching. And then he gets these mole warrens up. And I love it, man. This is exactly the kind of thing you're looking to do in a free-for-all. But Swagger God! With that swagger, gonna kick River Rain out of here. Say, see you later, nerd. This is my area. And what's been going on with Mazaroth? Mazaroth has just been working up to this badger into a bunch of snakes. Like, yeah, you guys kill each other. I'm cool, man. No big deal. Okay. Really cool to see a bunch of old school names in the chat, man. I appreciate you guys tuning in and saying hi. It's always good to see y'all. My favorite part about Tooth and Tail has always been the people, man. We got a really cool little community going on. Alright, double badger here for Mr. Roth. Chameleons on the way for River Rain. And Swagger God claiming the territory of a dead man. River Rain is going to try to test Swagger God again, but thinks better of it. Backs out for now. Dude, these badgers got to be almost done, right? Yeah, one of them's almost done. Oh, but River Rain trying to get in. A little sneak attack with his fast skiing lizards here. Dude, come on, skiing lizards. That's a good skin. Gotta give it up to skiing lizards. Yeah, Bellified has a custom winter skin too. He's like in his like winter long john, his little pajama hat. I don't think any of the other commanders have winter skins though. I need to get my TnTTV skin back on Hopper. I mean, when TnTTV isn't even using the TnTTV skin that was made for them, it's a sad day. But it's only because I installed the winter pack and overrode it, I'm pretty sure. That's my excuse, I'm sticking to it. Alright, Polar Bear Badger here, coming in. I mean, lizards are pretty good against snakes and badgers, but I just don't think he's got the numbers. He's got a lot of chameleons here, though. Nice ambush, and they're gonna take out the badger. Nicely done. Most of these chameleons going down, but they did their job. Like, what, he'd trade 4 chameleons and a handful of lizards for 2 snakes and a badger and a few pigeons? Like, not bad. Pretty good. Okay, okay. So blue and red are both stabilizing on second bases. So is Swagger God. We got a little bit of a lull. Might do a little fast forwarding here until the action happens again. Who do I think's in the lead? I was saying red, but like after he lost the Badger there, that's pretty rough. I mean, maybe Swagger God's coming back. And then again, River Rain does have that fully saturated second base. But so does Roth. Like, I don't know, it's rough. I just noticed that Roth doesn't have squirrel lizards or moles though. So considering that, he's been doing pretty awesome. I'm surprised he hasn't worked the toads into his comp though after he's seen the lizards and chameleons. Toads typically do pretty good against that sort of thing. I don't know about like nowadays how good chameleons do or toads do against chameleons. Like they do have a lot of HP, but it just depends on how many chameleons are clumped up, right? There's probably some sweet number like, alright, as long as there's at least 4 chameleons, then it makes sense to trade with toads or something like that, if I had to guess. Alright. Alright. Owl on the way for the green player. Roth is starting to get his tentacles out on the map, getting that third base. Like, look at all these Grismos right here in the middle. Like, that's actually pretty cool. It's kind of like, all right, you want a third base, you gotta be tough about it. But as I say that, there's some easy third bases for blue and green over here on the sides. So we've got Double Badger being rebuilt from Roth. We've got the first Owl from Swagger God. Swagger God's actually got a really, really strong late game comp. Like, Skunk, Falcon, Owl is super, super good together, in my opinion. If you can just start getting those numbers up, man. So a little bit of a lull in the action. So many lizards here from River Rain. River Rain going straight reptile, man. Lizard chameleon. Good job trying to shuffle his units around. Get those chameleons to tank that mice damage as much as possible. He only lost a lizard there, so that's not the end of the world. Swagger God is probably looking to throw down some more tier 3. No, decides to go up on skunks. Alright, somebody attack. The Blood God demands tribute. Here we go. Mazeroth coming in. Badgers looking for the rev up. Here are those toads I was talking about. Getting those badgers too far forward though. The lizards and chameleons get a total surround. And the Badgers go down for Mazeroth. River Rain is going to clean it up, but so many snakes here. Oh, do the snakes hold strong with those pigeons sealing them? It looks like they barely will. And Swagger God. Dude, Swagger God doesn't know, but he's got the best army on the board right now. And Mazeroth, with the reinforcements, is continuing to push forward. The chameleons are starting to make something happen. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, man. Like, the toads on the clumped up chameleons can be pretty good. But Swagger God is looking to take out Hopper here. Not River Rain. I figured he'd want to kill River Rain, man. River Rain's been giving him a hard time all game long. Taking a lot of damage, just kind of YOLOing over to this base. I don't know if that was the best approach. I feel like Swagger God's army was probably strong enough to, like, take a straight-up engagement there. Instead, he gets a little bit overzealous, a little carried away. And ends up losing most of his army. The boars here, Roth's army is looking fantastic. River Rain gonna backstab him. Like, poor Swagger God, dude. Swagger could have so easily just like came over here and ganked that base. But no, he wanted to go for red. And then River Rain stabs him in the back again. Dude, if I was green, I totally would have been going for blue. Like, that would have been my game. That would have been my strategy here. Because you remember in the early game? When green and yellow were fighting, and then blue tried to get in there and finish the job on green, I would have remembered. I'd have been seeking vengeance. Alright, Red, with this very powerful Tier 3 army, backed up by Toads and Snakes, is coming in. But River Rain with this ragtag force here of just a few reptile units left, doing some backstab damage. Oh man, River Rain is gonna knock out Mazeroth if he's not careful. Mazeroth realizes this and comes back. He has no economy anymore, but he can try to defend his last gristmill from going down. River Rain realizes it's now or never, runs through. Oh my god, he's gonna get it. Mazeroth with the biggest army in the match gets deleted upon by just a few units here for River Rain. Oh, what if River Rain does the same thing to Swagger God and just wins? I think that's what's about to happen. He's got enough chameleons. He doesn't have very many lizards, but he's got 7 chameleons. Like, those can just, you know, wreck upon a gristmill very, very quickly. Dude, Ghost, I see you talk about the 2v2 tournament next week, man. You should totally play in it. It'll be fun. I'm giving out prizes. There's prizes. Oh my god. I think River Rain's got it. Like, he should be... Yeah, he's going to be able to take out this Crystal before Swagger does. So River Rain... I think all he built that game was Lizard Chameleon. Right? I don't think he even built any other units. Pretty crazy free-for-all. Nice victory there for River Rain. Okay, guys. Game number 11. Let us do it. To the left, we've got Amistria. And her opponent to the right, the Child. Alright, so this is the third the Child Amistria match that we've seen tonight. And so far it's 1-1. So this is the one that decides who won 2 out of 3 of the matches that were submitted. So, similar stuff that we've seen from these players thus far in the deck composition. Interesting map. It's kind of small, but this lake in the middle kind of dissuades early aggression. There's not a way... Yeah, this is kind of an awkward ledge here. This is kind of a road to nowhere. Amistria can utilize it to take out this cabin for free, which is nice. But Amistria is basically... Yeah, it's a one base with one very, very defendable entrance, especially with barbed wire. Like, she could try to do some kind of one-base tier 3 turtle, but typically Owl's not the best unit for that. You'll want, like, the Fox or the Badger, even the Boar. But Amistria is in a good position to take a second base, take a cabin, have a pretty strong mid-game, and then eventually maybe take this third. And the Child's in a similar boat over here. Like, he's got a really nice second base on double high ground. He's also got a cabin that he has access to and a third base out here in the middle. But these third bases are pretty tough. Like, it's very unlikely both players are going to have these third bases, right? So it might become a position if the game goes that far to where the player who secures that third base essentially wins. So Amistria does recognize that this map is just begging for a tier 3 rush and goes for it and uses the barbed wire to lock yourself in here. Well, let's see how the Child wants to respond. He's going to move in and try to break this. And he's got moles, and moles do attack barbed wire, so that isn't a little bit of an issue for Amistria. Like, I'd like to see her throwing down... She should have thrown down some tier 1 warrants just to help defend. Like, it's not gonna... She could have thrown down 1 and still built the Owl. But she's just gonna make sure to not supply block this Owl. Yeah, this is what's rough, man. Those moles are gonna do pretty nicely against the barbed wire, but... Alright. Squirrel on the way. Let's see if Amistria is going to get away with this. The Child handling it very nicely. You also don't even really have to break it. Like, I would argue I probably would have rather seen the Child just macro up like crazy. You know, like, take a second base and throw 8 farms on it and then just build a ton of Squirrels and Falcons. And that could have probably dealt with the early Owl as well. But as I say that, he's busting through here. How far away is the Owl? It's about 15-ish seconds. Is this too much damage? Oh my god. Oh, if he just targets that tier 3 Warren. Oh, man. The owl's about to come out. Does the owl get out? The owl does get out. And there really aren't any squirrels here. Oh my god. Amistria barely hanging on. 4 farms left. The owl's on the board. And in these small numbers like this, those mice, you know, really matter. Amistria just gotta focus on keeping the squirrel count down from her opponent. The moles are, you know, obviously can't fire up at that owl. She did a good job tanking with this owl as well, trying to keep her squirrels alive as best she can, but it's definitely a fine line to walk, you know. Obviously, you cannot lose this owl if you're Amistria. But the child is keeping enough pressure on, and the problem is that an initial push through did so much damage to the economy. And the owl, 2 HP! Nice control here from Amistria, just trying to stay alive. And she hasn't lost any pigs. And she's starting to get a squirrel count together. Pigeons on the way as well. There's no way Amistria stabilizes. Oh my god. Off the back of barbed wire against moles, too. Like, I don't even know if that was the correct play there. Like, I think in this position, it would have been better to try to save up for maximum amount of mice, you know? Like, she was just trying to use her mice to get in there and harass, which is typically what you want to do, but, like, she needs that critical mass at this moment. Just barely hanging on, man. The child almost knocking the Gristle down, which would have eliminated Amistria, and now, finally, this mouse count is starting to get high. 6 mice on the field now. Amistria with the counterattack. Are the mice gonna be enough? These Warrens tanking a lot of the damage, but the Warrens are falling. That's pretty brutal at this phase of the game. Blech. Nice decision making here from Amistria, deciding to pull back, not overextend. We're past 5 minutes, so the child's economy is kind of on par with Amistria's now. And the farms that okay. I was gonna say, I wonder if like all the farms that she lost were the ones that she started with, and that's why she's still kind of like mining out at the same rate, you know? Okay, Amistria has the army value here. She's got the advantage. More squirrels, more pigeons, more everything, and turns around and holds it. Beautiful play. Damn, I cannot believe Amistria won that. It was so close. Like, the owl was down to 2 HP at one point. The owl barely spawned out of the warren to begin with. Really cool, man. And I tip of the hat to Amistria for kind of playing the map there, you know. That wasn't her strategy going into that game. She just kind of realized, hey, my map is, my spawn is really good to try to do a tier 3 opening and went for it. So you'd be needing replays, Ghost FTWS. Hell yeah, man. I don't do the show on a schedule anymore, but I still like to do it at least once a month, maybe, you know, twice a month. Still be involved in the scene and stuff like that. I just really like casting RTS games. Like, it's just fun for me to do from time to time. Yeah, so still send me replays, guys, at ToothAndTailTV@gmail.com, or hit me up on Discord. All levels of play are welcome, and that's also kind of how I judge how often to do the shows as well. Like, if I'm getting a lot of replays in, I might be more inclined to do it more often, kind of thing. But the main reason I wanted to stream tonight was to hype up the 2v2 tournament next week, guys. Sign up for that, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Me and Premium Bo are organizing this. We got some custom map makers trying to make some maps. Or also, if you don't really want to play, but you've kind of been interested in toying around with the map maker in Tooth and Tail, man, give that a try. You know, it's a lot of fun to make little custom maps and stuff like that, and we're hoping to get some good ones to use in the tournament, so that's definitely another way you can get involved, man. Alright, guys. Last match of the night. Let us hop into it. Game number 12. In the bottom, we've got this guy. And his opponent to left, Nost the Who. Nost he who. Nost who ho. Is it Nost who ho? Like, what's Nos? Think of like nitrous oxide. Is nitrous oxide the like Fast and Furious gas? It's either one or two things. And I'm not sure which one it is. It's either the Fast and Furious like booster gas for cars, you know, like the turbo, or it's like that gas that comes out of like whipped cream and stuff, and people will take to try to get high. What is it? What is it? Nitrous oxide. Or is it neither? It's a sedative agent that is mixed with oxygen. Nitrous oxide. Oh, it's laughing gas. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. I don't know if that's what's in the whipped bottles, but anyways, irrelevant. It's laughing gas. But that wouldn't even be NOS. I feel like NOS is the car thing, isn't it? NOS turbo. Yeah. Is NOS the same as laughing gas? No. First of all, nitrous oxide is not a fuel. You know, somebody asked a stupid question on Google when the answer starts with "first of all." Oh god, that's hilarious. Yeah, NOS is the car gas. And NOx is nitrous oxide. It's not irrelevant, Dino. It's very important. So back to the game. This guy went for a tier 2 skunk. This is like super standard or safe. Great opening from this guy, in my opinion. Like, just kind of, if you're not sure how to open the game on the ladder, you know, opening up like 2 tier 1 into a skunk, or a tier 2 rather into an expansion, into a 3rd tier 1 and like 1 or 2 farms, like kind of a safe mid-range opening. And meanwhile, Nos, kind of going for something similar, just more tier 1. Kind of built this turret. He doesn't necessarily need, but it doesn't hurt too much, I suppose. It is totally not the same gas. Dude, we need more skins from you, Zeblo. You did a lot behind the winter pack, didn't you? Didn't you do like the texture skins? The little Christmas lights on the trees? Dude, nobody's skinned a gristmill yet, man. It does look challenging, but you don't necessarily have to skin the blades, you know? Like, I was thinking, like, for Halloween, like, put some little pumpkins around it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a little bat decoration. A little skeleton. Skellebones. But no, apparently it must be a pain in the ass, because I don't think anybody's skinned a gristmill. I love the turret skin, though. The little snowman turret is awesome. Alright. So Nos turtling up a little bit, trying to dissuade this guy from coming in and attacking. Both players just kind of getting up to 2 base economies. Not a whole lot has happened yet this game. Okay, we see this guy going for the wolf. Let's see if Nos gets that scout off. This guy's kind of throwing down a couple turrets too. Not going crazy, just a turret every here and there. I don't mind that so much. But taking a 3rd base for Nos is going to be very difficult. Like, he's kind of, like, this guy's in the driver's seat this game. I think that's something that's really interesting about Tooth and Tail. It's kind of different from most RTS games. Is like, a lot of times the map RNG will kind of lay things out that kind of establish roles in a match the longer the game goes on. Hold that thought, though, as Nos comes in for a little bit of attack, but thinks better of it and backs out. Like this match, for example, Nos has to do something on 2 bases. Like, Nos has to be thinking about this game in terms of, okay, I can't really get access to a 3rd base, and my opponent has easy access to a 3rd base, which could snowball him into securing this 4th and 5th base as well, and then I'll have no hope. So really what Nos needs to be thinking about doing is, how do I win this game soon? Meanwhile, this guy, he doesn't have to do anything, right? He just got to sit back and chill. Wait, not that he doesn't have to do anything, but he wants to try to take this game into a macro game and say, like, yeah, man, let's just hang out. I don't mind building a couple turrets. You know, this guy doesn't need to attack into his opponent. He can just hang out, start building up on this 3rd base, and start getting more and more ahead. Nos is going to try to come in here for an engagement, but it's a little bit ill-advised because he invested in that Badger and did not wait for it to finish before the attack. I think he just got a little bit of gung-ho, or maybe just started kind of realizing the scenario that I'm talking about, and maybe got a little bit impatient. And that's really going to hurt his follow-up attack, man. Really, Nos should have been looking to, you know, make the biggest, strongest 2-base army that he possibly could. Perhaps, like, the correct timing to try to come in and win the game is, like, right as your opponent's trying to saturate up that 3rd base, and they've kind of invested into it, but it hasn't paid off yet, you know? And then you're like, okay, I have more army, so I move in and try to make it happen. But now I'm worried for him, man. This guy has the better army here. He's got the 3rd base possibility. He's already got a farm on that 3rd base. He's probably about to go throw another one down. And Nos needs a miracle here, but he does have the Badger, which is a miracle working unit. With some good micro, he can definitely still be in this game, but he needs to be careful. It's going to be especially difficult to micro this Badger to victory with the Wolf buff there. He's keeping it alive so far, but he really just doesn't have the army to try to contest with this guy anymore. And he's a little bit of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, where he can't really attack in, but he can't really afford to wait around either. He needs to sell off these turrets and just build as many more squirrels as possible. Gonna try to secure this base, but that's gonna be a difficult one to maintain. All right. Nasahu gonna try again. He's gotta be real careful with this Badger, especially with the Wolf and Falcons from his opponent. He has been able to secure this 3rd base though, but I highly doubt this guy's gonna sit around and let Nos have this base that's right in his front yard. So much skunk gas going down. The army of Nos is eliminated besides the Badger here. Oh, it might get the Wolf. Oh man, the Wolf lives at 1 HP. And that's gonna be match. Damn, 1 HP Wolf. Just still barking orders with his 1 HP skunk. Nos taps out. This guy takes the game. Got some good Wolf action there. Alright guys, that is it for me tonight. I appreciate everybody tuning in. It's always a pleasure. Don't forget about the 2v2 tournament, guys. Sign up for it, make a map for it, or in the very least, tune in and hang out with us as we do that next week on Saturday. There is a person streaming Tooth and Tail, so we are going to raid them and say hi. Give them the old woof from old Delthius here. Take care, everybody. You're all a bunch of beautiful nerds. I will see y'all on Saturday. Next Saturday for the tournament.